Welcome back to my stream. Yep, today's stock market activity was the same as yesterday. Dixie still high over 104. The VIX is, it might have gone up, but it hit trading 18, 19. I don't know if it shot up to 20 during market hours because I got out on a trade. So I took three trades today. Three trades. The one was like a $8 negative. The second one was like a $200 negative, and then the third one was $300 profit. So based on that $300 profit, I could assume that I made 300. That's basically what I see there. The profit in L, the monitor shows 120, but the trade was, it was based on my indecision if the day was going to be the continuation of yesterday, and it was. Basically, I fell in the trap of the cup and handle since open. SPY dropped 2 points, created a cup and handle, went up. I'm like, this is 104. This is 104, baby. This is gonna bleed. Just based on the Dixie, it's gonna bleed. So it happened once. I was red in that pump. That was the pump that I closed for -8. It did it again. This time a little higher than the first pump after open, which is basically 10 between 9:30 and 10:30, reaching 11 o'clock. At that second pump, I closed. Obviously, the pump, based on where I was positioned previously, was -200, or something like that. And then on the third trade, I decided to go short at the cusp of that third cup and handle. I mean, the second cup and handle of the day, and then it flushed down to VWAP. As it got to VWAP, I stopped. But based on reconnaissance, what I hear, I feel that we likely would have went below VWAP. So the profit would have probably been in the $400 range, because it was like the position that I was in hit like 380, 375, and that's around the area that, like, okay, I'm gonna stop it here because VWAP is right there, and it was basically like a bullish wick. I mean, a bullish candle, a huge wick to the VIX, a second candle filling in the gap on the bottom of the wick, and I had already gotten rid of my order there, and immediately it shot up from there. But then, after I'm sitting here combing my hair, dealing with the now new and improved nappiness that my hair has acquired, I heard lots of bullish activity right after, and then now lots of bearish activity. So we might be still at VWAP, or we might have pushed through VWAP, or might be the classic scenario, which price goes below VWAP, retests VWAP, goes below VWAP, retests VWAP, and goes back up. So I don't see SPY going below 557 or 577 at this point. Maybe like at best 576, and that's if they don't, based on the VWAP activity, if it's a miracle, because I think the party is going to be over between today and tomorrow. Although the Dixie should be up for a while, so expect a couple weeks of red based on the FOMC rate cut issue, that they want to delay this based on these news. In addition, that this was going to happen regardless. The Dixie was going to shoot up, as it happened in '92, as it happened in '95, based on inflation. Once they rate cut, it immediately pumps. Inflation immediately pumps, and then it starts doing the intended below 2.67. So right now we're up. We're likely in the 3% territory right now. 3% inflation, maybe 4% inflation. I think I dropped a piece of paper. Maybe 4% inflation, or 3.5, something like that, based on the data that I see today. And it eventually should go down. That's it. So hopefully for Monday, we're back. Regular business hours. no risk of VIX being over 20, no strong sell-offs, so on and so forth. Because we were cool. The whole way we were cool. And I checked Dixie too way back. And inflation spiked a couple times, but it wasn't influencing the market. But once VIX caught up with it, then shit started hitting the fan. Yesterday was over 19 since 1047, all the way up to 24 in the VIX. So that's a lot of volatility. That's definitely on the elevated range. So we're normal range now, but there might be a possibility that we're still maybe touching that VIX elevated range in a few days. And if not, this shit should be over by the next week. Investors should basically ignore the Dixie and ignore the pricing in for the next rate cut, the November rate cut, or whatever, slower than expected, as they say. And we should be up to regular business. For today, I wanted to take the loss. I really did. Yesterday, it wasn't that big of a loss, like $1,000 loss. And today, I want to take a loss again. Today, I felt the need. I want to take a loss today. Like, I want to take a loss today. Like, fuck it, like buying a contract and letting it go. But I was doubtful. Those two pumps scared the shit out of me based on my original position. And I should have just traded short from the day, knowing how I feel. How I feel based on why I held my position up to $400. What I felt was right. You understand? Like, that's the next stage. It's like Super Saiyan. We're reaching Super Saiyan 2 now. So based on what I felt on stock market activity, I felt the need that to let this go until maybe VWAP or something like that. Something that's definitely going to be a significant pullback and affect me based on these conditions. So maybe in the future, if this ever repeats, that hopefully in the future we forget about the Dixie and this isn't a problem that happens every day. The second I see the Dixie red, just 930 put, forget about it. That's it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. Maybe even open a deep in the money put, just one, a $500 one that open, and let that shit sink to the bottom of the earth. Because it will. It will. It's like it's a fear zone. Inflation definitely has a threshold and implies a fear zone that anything above that threshold, anything above the 2% mark immediately triggers liquidity risks for companies, future uncertainty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So everything starts dumping. It would have been a good play. What I felt this morning would have been a good play if I would have just been a little fast. Oh, look at that. Look at those two things. Dixie is still red. This and that, boom. It should have been an instant put for me, but I'm a little, I waited to see the opening, I waited to see the first 5 candles, the first 5 minutes of the market to make a decision. I'm going to let you guys go. I got to work today. I got to catch up. We got to make this money. Yesterday I cashed out. Today we got to get to at least $5 to $6. And hopefully continue the positive trend, making this cash, baby. We are making this money.